All right, welcome back. Now it's time for us to get into some more conversations about health and health-related issues. Of course, tomorrow is World Malaria Day. Now, for those who don't live in malaria endemic areas, malaria sounds scary. For those of us who live in malaria endemic zones of the world, we've almost taken it for granted. In fact, almost to a dangerous point where we just assume that malaria is here and so what, no big deal, right? But I've been joined by some gentlemen, two of them, who are going to show us the seriousness of what is actually going on within our continent and our various countries on this continent. Now, they are both from the Africa Public Health Students Network Initiative, and we have Rexford Kinto, who's the president of Africa PHSN, and Antonio Yayrator Korkuvi, who's the general secretary of the same organization. Gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's good to have you here. Now, let's delve right into the conversation. How serious is malaria in Africa?
All right, thank you very much. Before I proceed to the question, very greetings to my honorable members from the national headquarters, that's Nigeria, the chairman of the organization, who is Mayoma. And then also greetings to Nana Kinto family, my parents, my mom, and then my dad, Nana Kinto, and then my siblings, and the entire community of Kukwa, the executives here, the national working group here, in Ghana here, they are doing marvelously well. A very big thanks to them. They are doing well, we are doing well, and we hope to do more. We hope to campaign more of some conditions people are not aware of. We want people to
You
be
sound
aware
like a
of
politician. Oh.
Really?
Yeah, that's what politicians do.
We hope so. We want to see what will happen in future. Yeah, maybe we are seeing the future in today.
Okay.
Yeah, so a very big greetings to everyone who is watching us today. The public health students, the national public health national students, their vice president Jacqueline, and then their president, the FG Mercer, whoever is watching us today, a very big greetings to them. Be with us till we finish the program for today. Back to the question. Yes, how serious is malaria? Malaria is very serious. To me, malaria was even serious than corona. When COVID-19 came, people were afraid of COVID-19. People are dying. But with me, with the statistics I have, and with the statistics with WHO, that's the World Health Organization, malaria has killed more people than corona did. But we see it to be so normal in Ghana. Everyone seems malaria. Once someone feels fever, malaria, you just go to the pharmacy shop to get some drugs and then be passing around. Meanwhile, malaria is really killing a lot of people. Looking at the statistics, from
What are the figures like?
2021 statistics, the whole world, globally, we have 247 million cases when it comes to malaria.
Of malaria?
Yes.
Hey.
247 million cases. Notwithstanding, I think Africa, you are championing it all. Yes, yes, because when it comes to the cases, the contribution of malaria cases, Africa, we contribute 95%.
Wow.
Yes, and when it comes to death cases too, globally, we contribute 96%.
I see.
So it's like Africa is malaria, and malaria is Africa. So why are we still sitting there watching things like this go on?
Yeah.
In 2022, over 5,000 cases. In fact, with the 2021 population census, with the population of 30.8 million people.
That's in Ghana?
Yes, in Ghana. I can tell you all of us, all of the 30.8 million people are at risk for malaria. And 5.2 million cases were being confirmed for malaria by then. So it is telling us there's something serious we need to work on. Malaria is real. Malaria is serious. It is killing. And then the sudden aspect is when it comes to the children from the age of 5 and below, they are also really suffering from malaria a lot. Here being the case that they are not been exposed to the condition. And so once they get it, their immunity for the condition is low. So their body is not able, their immunity is not able to fight against it. So with the cases, when it comes to death cases with children from 5 below, 2021, it was around 79%. So malaria is serious. In general, malaria is serious. We all have to bring our concerns on malaria. is something we should think of.
Wow. Now, just talk a little bit about the Africa Public Health Students Network. Antonio, tell us a little bit about the organization and what your mission is.
Okay, thank you very much. So my greetings to my father, my mother, and all people watching us. Yes, so the African Public Health Students Network Initiative is an organization made up of students from Africa, and primarily our headquarters, just as our president indicated, is in Nigeria, but we are found in Ghana, we are found in Nigeria, we are found in Senegal, we are found in Kenya, and also in Sierra Leone. So we are all over. Yes, so our mission is just to bring on board all the health students, all people who are interested in public health. We are supposed to come together, and then with a unified voice, we'll make our contributions known as regards diseases of public health interest. So that's basically our mission, and that's a little that we have about African Public Health Students Network Initiative.
Now, yes, you wanted to add something?
To add some more to what my brother just said, we want to create a common platform whereby in the future, all health workers, the medical students, the pharmacy students, the nurses, all health workers, the lab technicians, everyone can come on board to learn, advocate, and make proper research in terms of any health condition in order to improve the health system in Africa here. We want a quality health system, and so we want to contribute to that.
Okay.
And with that, we have one professor I can't do away with, who is the patron of the organization as well. That is Professor Alfred Atleg. He's a Dean of Students at LEG. A big shout out to him. He's really doing well to support this organization and back on this journey. And so a big greetings to him, and then Rexelina as well. So please, that is all about us. We want to create the image of some conditions. We want people to be aware of what we are dealing with.
Okay, so talking about being aware, explain, the lay person says in lingua franca, me feel fever, and then they go into a pharmacy shop. But what exactly is malaria?
Interesting.
And how does one get it?
Interesting. People used to say, manya malaria, manya fever.
Yeah.
The word fever is not malaria. There is a difference between fever and malaria. But in our local system, we consider fever to be malaria. Fever is a change in body temperature. So once there's a change,
it can be caused by different things.
Yes. So fever is just a symptoms of a condition. And so with malaria, as we all know, it's caused by a parasite called Plasmodium. The parasite, it's not by intention that the bacteria or the parasite want to give us malaria, no. But once it has been affected or infected by that parasite Plasmodium, the malaria too need to feed on human being to survive.
The mosquito.
Yeah, the mosquito, rather, need to feed on human being to survive. They need blood sometimes, most especially when they are pregnant. And so they need to feed on human being to survive. And so once they feed on you, you're going to get it. Or once they feed on someone who is being infected by malaria, and then later on feed on another person,
then they'll pass it on.
They'll pass it on. And again, it can be transmitted through birth.
Oh, really?
In the process of giving birth, you can transmit it to your child. As well as during pregnancy too, you can give it to your child. That's why sometimes the pregnant woman, when they go to the hospital, most of the time they're given a drug or SP. Okay. But most of them refuse to take it. But the normal circumstances, you're supposed to take that drug instantly.
What's the resistance?
Yes.
Why the resistance?
The resistance, what good? One thing is we don't treat malaria by going to the hospital. And so we are gaining some kind of resistance. People feel like the SP drug smells a lot.
Okay.
Most of the pregnant women, that's what they are seeing. They said it smells.
Is it an oral
medication? Yes, something you take oral.
Okay.
Some says it smells, it doesn't smell good and the rest. But note, think of your child. Think of yourself.
I see. No, but I mean, I find it interesting because I thought that the world of the pharmaceuticals also, in terms of the way they do their things, at least you want to make the thing palatable for somebody who is going to, take it, especially at that junction of your life
Yeah.
where you are taking something because of a child that you are giving birth to, that will have something that's more appealing, But well, anyway, maybe we haven't gotten to that point yet. So, what are some of the advices you can give to viewers how to protect themselves against malaria?
Okay, so thank you very much. And just as he indicated, sometimes when we are feeling feverish, we just rush to the pharmacy shop to just buy any anti-malarial drug. Yes, and there's this precaution that we need to observe. That is, whenever we are feeling feverish or we experience certain symptoms of, a disease, what we should do is to do the test before we go in for the drug. Because once you take in the drug, you are abusing your system if it is not that particular disease that the drug is fighting.
Okay.
And so there's a need for us to constantly be aware of this, keep it at the back of our mind that we need to test before we go in for any anti-malarial drug. Then also a little advice that I have for everyone is that whenever we are in the rainy season, yes, and we know that our tins, our gutters and co will be choked. And so whenever our gutters are choked, we should make sure that they are desilted, our bushes are always wet. We make sure that we observe the preventive measures that have been communicated to us time and over, so that we'll be able to curb malaria and then bring it down to zero, just as the WHO is insisting.
Okay, let's run quickly through, Rex, the preventive measures, the things that we can do practically, okay, because a lot of people, they say, oh, don't leave stagnant water, and pretty much that's what people think about, stagnant water. But general preventive measures, looking at our societies, the way we are set up, compound houses, the way we live, what are some of the things we should be doing to prevent the proliferation of mosquitoes and therefore malaria as well?
All right, thank you very much. There's one thing I want to see. We shouldn't always rely on the president to do something. We can do something ourselves. Once you live in a locality, in a community, where you feel like there's a bushy area we need to clear, if we all have to come together and then do it, let's all call for a communal labor and then do it. If there's a stagnant water, if there's any chemical you have to put in, let's do it. Or if there's a way of avoiding that water to be there, we should do it. We have our role to play as individual, and then the government has his role to play. So sometimes the challenges I feel like bringing all this is someone will feel like this plot doesn't belong to me. This street doesn't belong to me. So as far as there's water there, there's stagnant water there, I don't mind. Forgetting it can cause something to his or her health. And again, one other thing I want us to check is sometimes we really stay outside for long during the night period.
Okay.
People are not so conscious about that, but it is also affecting us a lot. I can't tell someone not to go out, but once you are ready to go out in the night or you are ready to stay outside, make sure you're well protected from malaria, whether through clothing or any other thing you can do to protect yourself from being infected by this parasite. Yes, I think my brother may add something later as well.
Yes, so just as he has indicated, we must always make sure that our stagnant waters are free-flowing. Yes, we also have to make sure that we use the mosquito repellents and also use our sleep in mosquito-treated nets. We also have to make sure that the mosquito insecticide sprays that we use in our homes are always used, so that at least we'll make sure all our mosquitoes have been cleared from, our surroundings. So that's a little I have to add.
Yeah, so if we're looking at yourselves as an organization, what is it that you are either doing now or planning to embark on doing to help bring malaria from, 240 million plus people to zero?
Good. So recently, just yesterday, we had a webinar. And then our guest speaker was from a malaria control program, the National Malaria Control Program.
Okay.
We educated a lot of people on this condition. And our focus is to make people aware of the condition they're playing with. And once you're able to educate the health workers themselves, they can also educate the general public. Assuming we educate 100 health workers, they can also go out. If even one person educates 5 people,
Yeah.
it is something. It contributes to something. And so our focus is mainly on the health workers and then the general public as well. And again, we are also planning to have an outreach. We will reach out to some organizations as well, and then even health work.
Okay.
We are planning to do a lot of things to make sure these conditions come down. The awareness of this condition is our focus. So through any media we can pass through to make people aware, like we are doing today, we are going to do that. When you check the plan for 2021 to 2025 for the national program, malaria program control, they want to reduce malaria, the risk for malaria or the infection of malaria rate from 95 to 50% by 2025. And so we want to play a role in that to make sure that happens. And then with the death cases too, they want to reduce it. And so we all want to contribute to that and make sure it happens.
The general attitude of people when something doesn't look dangerous, is very apathetic.
Yeah.
And so in Ghana, let me talk about Ghana because that's our context and that's what I know best. I don't see anybody panicking about malaria. It doesn't. So I'm wondering, 2025 is just around the corner. If we are not scared of malaria, how are we going to bring it down to 50%?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. People are not aware of the death cases.
Okay.
If people are really aware of the death cases,
How many people are actually dying from it? Yeah.
Their life will be their own concerns.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and so we want them to be aware. That's why we are embarking on
So
this.
let's say 2021, 2022, do you have figures on how many people in Ghana died from malaria?
Yes, that's why we said globally, Africa contributed 95% cases and then 96% death cases when it comes to the whole Africa. And in Ghana, we are in the 12th position with the WHO graph. Yes, with Nigeria leading with 50% to 75, 50,000 population who were infected by malaria to 75. And then Ghana, somewhere around 5,000 people were infected by then. And so, and most of the times, assuming 5,000 people have been affected, 96% of them are going to die.
Come again, give me that figure again.
5,000 people.
Yeah.
So let's take 96% from 5,000. 96% of 5,000 are going to die.
Yeah.
And then with some last statistics we also had from WHO,
Yeah.
5.2 million people was also infected by this same malaria.
Okay.
And so the statistics says that 96% of them used to die most of the times when it comes to Ghana. And so we can also make that deduction and see that a lot of people are dying.
All right.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. So tomorrow is World Malaria Day. Very important to take care of your health. Make sure that you stay safe, do the right things. Make sure that if you do feel feverish conditions, go see a doctor, get a test done, and make sure that you take care of yourself. Let's stay alive and prevent malaria as aggressively as possible. I was joined this morning by Rex Kintor, who's the president of the Africa Public Health Students Network, as well as Antonio Yayrator Korkuvi, who is the general secretary of the same organization.